I'm Greg.
And I'm Pat.
And welcome to a special episode of Passion of the Geeks Unplugged. Usually we use these episodes alone to talk about something only one of us is an expert in. But we decided to try something a little bit different. So this is an Unplugged with both of us. Still mostly unedited, shorter, straight to the point, but very, very important, very, very passionate. So what we decided to do this week, and that's why we're both talking to you now, is we decided to review Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We both finished the Disney Plus show maybe last week or maybe the week before. So we wanted to give you some time to make up your own mind before we tell you what we thought. We're just going to talk about it for about 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, random thoughts, general thoughts, spoiler-free. And then we dive into some spoilers because, there were lots of things to talk about that require spoilers. So, we obviously want to get to the meat of it. So, generally speaking, Pat, what did you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Generally speaking, I loved it. It's totally different than WandaVision. It's a completely different style. If you want to have a style comparison, probably the movie Winter Soldier or maybe Civil War might be a comparative style. But it's definitely something different than WandaVision. And I enjoyed it immensely. How about you?
I'm also very positive, maybe a little bit less positive than you. I enjoyed it a lot, but I have to admit I liked WandaVision a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I'll get to why, but because I'm a little bit starved for superhero Marvel content. Yes, I know I like these movies. I like them. I obviously had a lot of fun with it, but there are some things that I feel could have, been improved a little bit. But generally speaking, I really enjoyed it. Mm. It was an interesting story told in an interesting way. I really like where the characters ended up and what they did with some of them. Maybe kind of the not too happy with how the villains turned out. That's my biggest gripe, that the villains were kind of, in the end, they were not really good for anything. Maybe one thing, and I think that's definitely not spoiler territory, I think one thing I preferred about WandaVision, or where I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier let me down a little bit, I really loved the episodic nature of WandaVision, that there was an episode a week. It's worked quite well because of the whole television series setup and everything, and I really like these breaks between the episodes. Mm-hmm. For Winter Soldier, I think for me personally, the show would have benefited if I would have been able to binge watch it. I think this one felt more than a chopped up movie than WandaVision did. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's certainly the episodic nature in WandaVision was perfection. It suited the whole style. It suited that you had time to think about it while you waited for the next episode. And I think in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as you said, it feels more like one long story arc that is just chopped up into episodes. And a lot of stuff that you want to think about, you only start thinking about when everything is done. And so I totally agree. Still, I loved it to have it chopped up because it's easier for me to digest, to watch. But it wouldn't have made a tremendous difference if we had everything in one big slice. Yeah, I agree there.
Generally speaking, anything else we want to say before we dive into spoilers? Because there's a lot of things in there that you can't really talk about without spoiling. I mean, I think if you haven't seen it from our discussion, I think there's a lot to like in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So if you're on the fence about checking it out, I would recommend it. I have some caveats, but I would like to talk to them about spoilers. Just from my point of view, generally speaking, the cast is great.
Yeah.
The kind of the story they're trying to tell and some political issues they're trying to tackle, I really liked, and I think are really important that the superhero property is talking about some of those things. I mean, spoiler alert, I mean, obviously racism is one of the topics in the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a well-written show that maybe had some problems. I don't know, maybe due to the pandemic, I don't know. But generally speaking, I really enjoyed it and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I agree. Before we go into spoilers, I can say the chemistry is great between the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I love them. As you said, the actors are great without exception. All of them really they do a great job. And the thing is, you need to know that this isn't a typical superhero series. So if you're just there for superhero stuff, you might be disappointed. You won't last through the fourth episode. But if you want more than superhero stuff and you carry on, it's really, really worth it.
I mean, there's some pretty cool superhero stuff in the first episode.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's a Falcon scene in the first episode that's movie level, honestly.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's great.
Some really cool Falcon stuff in the last episode that's definitely movie worthy as well. And in between, there's some cool fights and some cool action set pieces. But I think they have the big two action set pieces. They have in the first and the last episode.
Yeah. So there are some fights, but it's not just about action and superhero stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we should go into spoiler territory, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Should we do the spoiler bumper unplugged as well?
Yes, of course.
Okay, let's do that one unplugged. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Spoiler alert. You have been
warned. Yeah, we have to work on the timing. This is unplugged.
This is unplugged.
We warned you. Okay, Pat, we're now in spoiler territory, so everything is off the table. So, yeah, what did you like? What are maybe things you did not like that much in Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Well, the first thing that really touched me is the whole Captain America thingy. If you remember, Sam got the shield from Steve Rogers, and he was kind of nominated as Captain America by Steve Rogers himself. But Sam decides at the very beginning that this is a symbol that's no longer needed, and the people behind it are more important than the symbol itself. And it just puts them away. But the government obviously is not does not think that, and they appoint a new Captain America, John Walker, and let's just say he's fantastic in his portrayal, don't you think?
Yeah, Wyatt Russell, who portrays John Walker, the new Captain America, does a really good job because he has a very difficult role to play, because obviously everyone loves Steve Rogers, everyone loves Chris Evans, and kind of most people want Anthony Mackie, want Sam to take up the mantle or the shield of Captain America. But I think Sam, it's not just that Sam thinks that this symbol is too big. I think he does not feel ready yet.
Yeah,
he feels not worthy to kind of, maybe he's not ready to say goodbye to his friend, because the moment he picks up the shield and the moment he dares to pick up the shield and dares to become Captain America, he's kind of replacing his friend, and maybe that's something he doesn't want to. Yeah. But the US government apparently is, it's not that nostalgic for whatever the feeling is. So they're ready to name someone new. And I mean, on paper, he makes perfect sense to pick up the mantle because he's a well-decorated soldier. But what he does really well is he portrays this do-good American attitude, but there's something off about him. Mm-hmm. There's just a tiny little thing off, which says a lot more about Steve Rogers than it says about John Walker in a way. Because Steve Rogers was not just 1 in a million; he was 1 in a billion or whatever, and that's really, really good casting and really good portrayal by Wyatt Russell. And I've heard that he got threats or something because by some people. Yeah, and I think, I mean, come on. First of all, what's wrong with you? And secondly, but that's what he was supposed to do. You were not supposed to love him picking up the shield. Yeah. That's the entire purpose there. So I quite like that as well. I totally agree with you there.
I mean, to be honest, John Walker, we as comic geeks, we kind of know him. We know he is the super patriot, and he becomes the U.S. agent, and we know that he won't stay. And from the beginning that this is a show that's kind of about Sam accepting the shield of Captain America. So there's no surprise there, but it's executed so well. It doesn't matter that there is no surprise. You breathe
I think
in,
so too.
Like Sam does when he sees the new Captain America presenting itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's just of course they did it. Of course they did.
Of course they did it.
And I kind of like the thing. It's, for me, it's John Walker in Civil War. He wouldn't have made Steve Rogers' choice.
Yeah.
And kind of that. So he as I said before, on paper he's a proper Captain America, but he's not Steve Rogers. Mm-hmm. So that's that's one of my favorite parts of the show, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a brave part because he, as the Captain America, represents how people see America. They are self-entitled. When he's coming, when he arrives, and someone says, "Hey, who says this?" and he just points to himself. I say it because I am America, and I mean, for an American show, this is a brave statement, isn't it?
I mean, it's obviously they're commenting on jingoism. It's this America First attitude that they're. I mean, not sure if that they're poking fun of it is the right way to put it, but they're commenting on it, and you're not supposed to. I mean, this is what a lot of Americans do, or what a lot of American politicians do, but you're not supposed to root for that attitude in this show. So it's quite a strong political statement.
It's very strong. I agree. And well, part of, you mentioned it before, part of this Captain America arc is racism. And I think it's depicted in a very strong way when Isaiah, a character we meet a little later, actually tells Sam that Captain America needs to be a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy. He never could be black. And I mean, you root for Sam. Sam, show him. There can be a black Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah Bradley, played wonderfully by Carl Lumbly. I mean, he has all the reason to doubt America. I mean, basically what they did to him and how they treated him. I mean, he wasn't one of the original super soldiers, but yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't blonde and blue-eyed. He wasn't Steve Rogers. And there is this little detail in the show where he also went rogue and tried to save his comrades from the bad guys. But he was sent to prison for it. Steve Rogers, he got a different costume. He was promoted a hero. So
really,
I mean that kind of that's it's a detail in there. So that shows how different black people have been treated in American history. And obviously, it's not our job as two white guys from Central Europe who've never experienced racism in their life to tell people how they're supposed to feel about this. But I think it's important that superhero stories tackle these issues as well and comment on history. I mean, the fact that Isaiah Bradley was experimented on, I mean, there are cases from history where black men have been kind of the used for medical experiments and things like that. So there is a precedent for that. And I like that the show uses these events from real history to weave their superhero story around. And I mean, even Sam encounters racism.
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't have to go into too many details, but be it at the bank or when he almost gets arrested by police officers. I mean, he's an Avenger.
Yeah.
But because he's also a black man, the police doesn't treat him like they treat Bucky. And let's be honest, Bucky is a murderer.
But I think the scene in the bank is really, really perfect. I mean, just to remind everyone, Sam was gone during after the snap until the blip happened. He wasn't there, and he goes to the bank to get a loan. And the man from the bank, he recognizes him. He wants a selfie with him, and he loves him. But he doesn't get a loan, and the reason cited is that he didn't have any income for the last 5 years. I mean, that hurt, because this is something that totally would happen in real life if the snap and the blip would happen in real life. This is how bureaucracy works.
Yeah, I like that we get little hints, or well, more than little hints this time, what actually happened to the world because of the blip. Or because of the snap, or whatever you want to call it. I think they officially call it the blip now, don't they?
Yeah, it's always the blip, but I thought the blip is them returning and the snap is them disappearing. Or is the blip both?
I don't know. Well, it's not really important. But kind of that we get either on a personal level what happened to these people, but then when it's part of the story of Falcon the Winter Soldier as well, what's happening to these people, or kind of either the people who came back or the people who were not snapped away and kind of found new lives within those 5 years and are refugees now because of people are returning. And I think it's really cool that they're trying to tell these stories. But as I said before, this is the part that I think is the weakest link in an otherwise really good show. Because, the Flag Smashers, which is basically this terrorist organization who wants society to return to how it was during these 5 years where most of the people were snapped away. And apparently during these 5 years, the world worked together well or better than it usually did. But now that everyone returned, it's everyone for self again. And they're creating new borders, relocating people. And I mean, on the one hand, I can really get behind what they're saying. And so does Sam. I mean, he basically agrees with the main villains, with the Flag Smashers.
Yeah.
But what they're doing never really amounts to anything. even though I really like the actress, I think it's Erin Kellyman who portrays what's her name?
Carly.
Carly Morgenthau or Morgenthau.
Yeah.
Morgenthau. Yeah, I really liked her as a character, but she didn't really do that much.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely right. I liked her as a character in the beginning, and then she kind of her character arc was rushed, I would say, because she suddenly is this terrorist, and you really hate her, which is sad because you kind of. I mean, I as a person, I would totally stand behind the basic idea these flag smashers have with the one world, one people. That's great. That is something that we really should strive for. But she does some really, I would say, some really bad things rather quickly once this is established. And then she lost me there. And then I thought, you're an asshole.
They blow up a few buildings, and then I think they take some council members hostage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, they don't really do that much. And one thing I heard, and I just read it somewhere, not sure if it's actually true, I read somewhere that they actually they cut out a subplot, because apparently one of the plans that the Flag Smashers had was to release a virus. Kind of as a means to an end, kind of to achieve their goals.
Okay.
But for obvious reasons, because with all the political commentary that the show like Falcon and the Winter Soldier has, apparently it's still supposed to be escapism. So they didn't want to have a virus released during a pandemic, which is something I can understand, but obviously makes them immediately weaker as a villain or as an antagonizing force. So
yeah. I mean, I didn't know that, and now that you're saying it, I think that from a plot point of view, I think it would have been understandable that the Flag Smashers tried to mimic the effects of the snap with other means, just to get it back to how it was. And it would have made sense, I think. But no, you cannot do that in the current state of the world. That's no.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are a few characters we haven't talked about that much. So, Bucky, the Winter Soldier, I really liked Sebastian Stan in this. Kind of how he had to cope with what he did as the Winter Soldier, something that he still has to work through. How he, on the one hand, how he tried to make amends, but kind of on the other hand, how he needs to be able to let go, how he needs to be able to move on. So it's not just all the people or kind of all the people he killed that he needs to make amends for. I mean, obviously it wasn't his fault. He was under the influence. But he also needs to make amends for himself, because, I mean, Bucky in a sense was the first victim of the Winter Soldier. So I quite like that as well. And I think Bucky is in a pretty good place at the end of the show.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think it's also, again, interesting if you look at Bucky and again at Isaiah, that Isaiah had PTSD and everything and got locked away, while Bucky, being a white, he gets counsel and a pardon. Again, another nice point. And I think Bucky also is a good point of view for the whole Captain America thingy, because I was surprised that at the end of Endgame that Steve didn't choose Bucky as the next Captain America. I was surprised back then because in the comics, this is, I think, one of the first things that happened. I mean, in the comics, Sam is Captain America at one point as well, but actually it's Bucky first, if I remember correctly. Everything it's always a bit wobbly with the timelines, and now in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you can see why that he wouldn't have been a great Captain America, because he lacks the empathy that Sam has. He is an awesome character, and I really love both of them. As I said at the beginning, I like the chemistry between them and how they grow as friends. And I also love that the show showed me that Steve chose the right person. So both of these aspects, I love that immensely.
I mean, yeah, you just said it. So, I mean, obviously, Sam becomes Captain America in the end. He picks up so they get the shield, or they take the shield from Captain America, from John Walker. And Bucky uses his connections to Wakanda to get Sam a nice, cool suit. Yeah. And honestly, watching it on my couch, I cheered a little bit when I saw the new Captain America in full costume with wings, the white and blue for the first time. I mean, it's one thing I think that I realize in these recent Marvel movies with the design of the costumes, they're leaning in a lot more into the comic books than they used to. Yeah. So in the beginning, they tried to make the costumes. Yeah, well, we look at the comics, but we're trying to make them cool and practical and maybe a little bit more realistic. With the Captain America suit that Sam gets to wear, they're leaning into full comic book vibes, and I love it. I mean, he is no super soldier. He doesn't have the serum, as opposed to the Flag Smashers and even Wyatt Russell. He has the serum. But he has his wings, and he trained a lot. There's a really cool training montage. Yeah. And, I mean, at this point, I'm really looking forward because they're doing another Captain America movie. Malcolm Spellman, the showrunner of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or as the show is titled in the end, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, is one of the writers of the new movie with Sam as Captain America. I'm pretty sure they're going to use Bucky, the White Wolf, as well. So I'm quite looking forward to that one. Yeah. So,
this is something I definitely want to see.
As I said before, there's some really cool action set pieces in the last episode with Sam, the shield, and his wings. So that's definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I mean, we're running a bit long, so kind of this unplugged, short, straight to the point did not really work. But yeah, we should have known better. But I think there are two characters we haven't even mentioned that I would like to mention.
We should, Zemo. Yes. Yeah.
Zemo was cool.
Zemo was extremely cool. I never felt that he is a villain. At least not for this story. He has some villainous charisma, or he does a couple of villainous things. But in my opinion, he was here to complete the Bucky story. Or what do you think?
I mean, obviously they retconned him a little bit, but because I don't think he used to be this rich European aristocrat, or maybe they just didn't mention it in the movies before. So
I think he was. I'm not sure.
I think in Civil War they didn't mention this. So on the one hand, I kind of like what he did, and I realize what his purpose was. On the other hand, I mean, he was the villain of Captain America Civil War, and I mean, he gets out of it too easy, I think. They're it's they're barely commenting on it. yeah, I mean, he basically killed the king of Wakanda, and it's barely. I mean, obviously the Wakandans are after him, and in the end they get him and imprison him in the raft. But I mean, he, in my opinion, he gets off a little bit too quickly, and it's a little bit rushed. Let's just put it that way. I like what they used him for, but the way they got him there, or the way they made him part of the story, to me it feels a little bit rushed.
Yeah. But the scenes with him are all fun.
Simo dancing, I mean, it's an instant meme. Let's be honest. Simo dancing. I mean, Daniel Bruhl is a very talented actor. So part of me hopes that they bring him back in some capacity, and I think they're going to. I mean, they did not kill him. He's on the raft, and usually, if you're not dead, you're coming back at least in some capacity.
Yeah, and sometimes you're coming back if you're dead. But yeah, I hope he will return.
Yeah, I mean, one other character is Sharon Carter.
Yeah,
she gets some screen time here as well. She's another thing I'm not really sure about because she turns out to be the power broker. Another well-known Marvel character, and I get what they try to do so that she how she felt and what happened to her, that she kind of lost faith in the system or whatever. But at least in the movies, in Captain America, Winter Soldier, and I think she was in Civil War as well, wasn't she? Or she was in the Winter Soldier. Yeah,
I think,
and she was.
Yeah,
and I think, I mean, for me, it feels a little bit out of character for her to become technically a bad guy. She was too good, or too... She was a decent person in those movies, and now it seems... Yeah, she's more than a little bit shady. So I don't really know what I think about it. Obviously, I'm interested in where they take it. But yeah, that's another of those things where I'm not 100% behind.
Well, I agree. However, I think that, you feel from the instant that she appears on screen that something is not quite right with her. There is a lot that, or didn't you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, within the show that she turns out to be the power broker, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm just having a problem with her being that person that she is here. Because that's not how I saw her in the older movies. And obviously, I don't know what happened to her in those 5 years, obviously.
That is, of course, a good point. Or maybe she has been working for the power broker before she became the power broker herself. I don't know exactly. There are obviously more people involved based on the phone call she makes at the very end of the series. I liked the scenes where she was. It wasn't quite as often on screen as I had thought she would be. I thought she had a bigger part in the story based on the advertisements and stuff. And I'm really interested what happens to her. I'd like to see more of her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure in what capacity she's going to be back, but I'm pretty sure they find something for her to do in the future.
Yeah, probably. She did a great job. I like the way she portrayed her character. So we'll see what will happen.
We'll see. Yeah. I mean, there's one other character who has a short appearance and kind of a big casting event. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the quite well-known actress, appears as, and I have to admit, I have to read it. Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. I'm not sure what they have planned with her, but it's definitely going to be interesting. So, I loved her immediately.
I mean, I love her since Seinfeld, I was I was kind of happy to see her, and I think her first words are, "These boots are not for walking."
And then she gives kind of John Walker's wife. She gives her a card which is just empty. Such a power move.
No, honestly, right now I don't know what kind of character Well is supposed to be. I don't remember from the comics anything. Maybe they combine a couple of things. I'm not sure right now.
She is a Marvel character, so she's one of those. I mean, she has she plays different roles, but I mean, I think usually she's just referred to as the Contessa.
Okay. Now I get it.
Yeah. So, but obviously, they're not always doing the same things with characters. But I mean, obviously, she's not the Agatha Harkness of the Winter Falcon, the Winter Soldier. But I mean, she might play a similar role in the future. I think maybe she's the one who gets an evil Avengers team together. To me, it seemed like she might be the evil version of Nick Fury.
That could very well be. I think with the inclusion of the U.S. agent, and I think we told that John Walker becomes the U.S. agent, and with the inclusion of him, it makes sense that we have the Dark Avengers at one point. Maybe they go that route. Maybe.
And rumor is she also appears in Black Widow.
Ooh. Oh,
and I mean, kind of. Rumor is that technically she was supposed to appear there first because, Black Widow is supposed to be out since last year.
Of course, they should have been out for quite a while. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything else to say, or should we wrap it up?
I mean, there. I could say a lot, but I guess we have talked for long enough. We should wrap it up, shouldn't we?
I mean, we obviously, you can hear it. We both like it.
Yeah.
There are some problems with the show, but I mean, at least for me, the 2 Disney Plus Marvel shows that I've seen so far have both been worth it. Maybe for me, WandaVision a little bit more than Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I enjoyed both of them immensely. And I'm really looking forward to Loki, starting in June, I think.
Yeah, very soon.
With kind of Wednesday is the new Friday. They're releasing new episodes on Wednesday, so I'm quite excited about that. But yeah, we'll see. So we'll definitely are going to review Loki as well.
I think so, yes.
I think so too, yeah. Okay, yeah, it was nice trying a new format out with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, short, we talked for more than half an hour, didn't we? 37 minutes already.
We apologize.
But yeah, we get excited. We get passionate, so it happens. Okay, so talk to you soon. And take care, Pat.
Take care. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.